So I took a quick picture of my organized studio, and apparently some people wanted a tour, so why don't we give that a shot? So like I mentioned when I posted the picture, this is the area that's really just one side of the room. It's where all of the organized stuff is for building custom builds. This is the area inside the closet, which is just a bookshelf covered with a whole bunch of stuff, books, Dungeons and Dragons stuff, dice, electronics, cases, boxes, a table and chairs in case we need to go anywhere. This is that old shelf here stuck in the corner that used to have, and now still does, have Addison's kind of like arts and crafts stuff on it in case she wants to do that. This, for those who recognize it, is a really old set of encyclopedias that was in storage and we didn't want to get rid of them. That's the Crayola games and stuff, and just kind of lots of random stuff. Old lights. Here's what happened to box life in our studio. I've cut them all down to just the front page, that way you can keep some of the stuff. I want to make a collage or something at some point, but got rid of all the box space. Here's all this other stuff. There's just a pile of old laptops. Not really sure what we're gonna do with those. That's a press for heat making shirts or whatever, and all those mechanos. These are all the drawers for organizing like regular office stuff, to include just tape and papers and power supplies and all kinds of different cables down here at the bottom, power cables, audio-visual cables, whatever. So this is the main gaming side of the rooms, where this main shelf is set up to be able to play all the different video games for right now. So the studio's a little bit weird looking too, because the lighting's kind of weird, because I was trying to show mainly the organized area, but I figured might as well show you guys the whole kind of studio setup overall too. You can see the lights kind of shining back at me here. But yeah, this is really the way that the studio desk should be set up. It's with the corner back there being primarily what's right behind it, and that empty space is not going to be empty forever. It's a big project I'm working on and I'm going to start sharing with you guys really soon, which is that there's going to be an arcade cabinet back there. So this is kind of the display Lego area. So these are sets that are built, and we kind of wanted to display in groups. And then you got the Star Wars posters up there. You can see all of the Ninjago, plus like basically all of the like just Lego themed stuff right here. And then a lot of these others are specific intellectual property type things over there, from Star Wars to some of the older ones. Yeah, it needs to get reorganized, because even that stuff, see, there's always more organizing that can be done. So these are other areas that have displays going on. That's all the unbuilt sets, I guess you'd call it, the backlog, right? There's my busted up Millennium Falcon and my 2013 Republic gunship. Holiday boxes are on the bottom. Then that's mostly just the Brickheads I don't have up on display, Tantive 4 because it fell down, and then Super Mario Brothers sets. Just above those is all of my architecture stuff. I kind of arrayed the little cities into what should look like a big city kind of skyline there. There's all the holiday sets, and then superhero collectible minifigure series in the front, and the rest of the minifigure series in the back, and some planes still kind of floating above it there. If I didn't mention it, on the other side of the room was where the main computer we do most of the stuff with. This is the second computer over here, but this screen faces the studio desk and lets us see what the camera sees and what's showing on the main screen over there. And actually, if I go ahead and turn this monitor on, you'll be able to see that it's displaying exactly what's showing like on the other side of the room. So that way we can kind of monitor and look and see when things happen on the chat, or whenever we're doing live streams, we can kind of see what's actually going there on the main screen. Yeah, all the way over here on that screen. So it shows the same thing. And that's the main computer down there, along with an Xbox One, an Xbox 360. You can see the VR system there, and then kind of right back here in the back is where the Lego Dimensions set is actually set up. You can kind of see some of the Dimensions sets over there, and this is primarily like Dimensions and other video games. And then you can see on the other side more Dimensions sets, and Harry Potter above it, and then down there at the bottom is all the unbuilt Dimension sets. We still got to go through and do those at some point. There's a couple other gaming systems on here. There should be a Wii U and a little PlayStation like Classic. This is over here on this main gaming desk side where we actually kind of start getting into the Lego. So these are just a bin full of really big chunky pieces that are super hard to fit into any drawers and don't really go with anything else. So big boat pieces like this, or parts of like big airplanes or other big boats or whatever, kind of just interesting fuselage type looking pieces, big giant tires from like old miners sets, and then some of the Ninjago spinners and big sails for other things. You can see it all in there. So it's just like the big stuff that can't really go anywhere else. But there's definitely some interesting stuff in here usually, so I kind of come back to it whenever I'm thinking of building something big. I'm definitely going to be digging into this when I start the ship for September. All of these drawers here, in the colored ones, came all together in one set. So in this drawer is the collectible minifigure like extras for me to trade. That's just an empty drawer because I finally sorted it. This one has all of my like labeling kit and extra reels for labeling the drawers, so that way I can hopefully get them even more organized than they are. I've been labeling, but it's got to get more of it's got to get done. Another empty tray. Like I said, I sorted most of this. So here's some like out of a bit, like a good trade I got that are like partially built things I wanted to kind of maybe finish, but I'm probably just gonna break them down and put them into the sorted stuff. And then this bottom one here is, oh man, I totally forgot that I had this completely unsorted pile of Lego. We're gonna go ahead and pretend like I didn't see that, because that would tell me I had lots more sorting to do. And I don't know if I have it in me, although it'd be nice to have all that stuff sorted before starting to ship. So these all basically just contain manuals and books and magazines and things from Lego that are basically all print material stuff. Some of the packaging for collectible minifigures, so that way I can trade and include the packaging with it in case I trade it away. So let's look back here at the like art behind this desk. So there's a couple little just art things on the wall, some Lord of the Rings. There's a whiteboard in case we wanted to use it for planning things ahead. These are some of the letters we've gotten for Addison Versus, and then that Disney minifigure, collectible minifigures is kind of the off one, and then the rest of them are all up over here so that we can keep track of which ones we collected and which ones we haven't here on the wall. Got the little Imperial Probe there, got put together too. Still sitting out, it needs to get built. Let's go through these drawers first. These are kind of like the original thing I had, and it was only sorted through here. So down the bottom is tiles and dishes and other things like used to just decorate stuff. And then this is all snot pieces that are bigger than can fit into smaller drawers over there. And then these are all Technic or Technic pin type pieces, different bigger chunks of Technic stuff anymore. And then all tires. This is pretty much only tires or wheels or drive systems. Then what's here? We got mostly windows, glass panes, cockpits, canopies, things that like basically go with spaceships. And then these are mostly things that go with cars. So you'll see parts for like bigger wheels or bigger engine covers, or the tire like wheel well cover areas, yeah, stuff like that. So big chassis pieces, things like that, kind of end up in this drawer. Sometimes they're could be blended in, I guess, with space pieces. I don't know. These are all slopes, kind of the larger slope pieces, ones that are angles or pieces. These are pretty much all 1x4 plates at this point, because I've sorted everything else out into other spaces, but there's so many of them. These are large bricks, either long 1x's or long 2x's, and then those round chunky ones. And these are basically all big buildable figure type pieces, either from the Star Wars sets or from the sets which shall not be named, and include some interesting pieces though when you're trying to build something big. So next, I guess we'll go over these kind of small drawers over here. This one started getting sorted actually kind of by accident, because this is all the leftover pieces from Addison's Harry Potter art piece. So I now have 1x1 studs like super sorted into color, and I want to sort the rest into that. That led me to think I could sort things like this. So then I got a lot of the small sloped angled pieces to create lots of variation in shape and color, all sorted into this. These drawers are kind of annoying to use because when you open it, you can't actually access that back one. So you have to kind of pick this tray portion up and set it off to the side in order to then slide everything forward, and then you can access the stuff that's in the back. So I mean, it's good because it means you get more space, but it'd be nice if you could just access all of that without needing to like slide stuff around inside the drawer. But you gotta have the locking stuff in space too, so that way the drawers don't slide all the way out, because that gets even worse. But I guess there's always a trade-off. And then this top one is all of the 1x4s, 1x3s, and then all the 1x2s that like I couldn't fit in the drawers up there that have some kind of unique characteristics. So lots of 1x2 snot pieces, 1x2s with like grids and grills and the colored ones. And it was kind of basically makes it so there's another space for all those smaller pieces used. These trays I use to sort things out. So it sorts up into those and then out from them into others. So this is kind of the secondary one I started. It's just sitting on the side. It's got some random pieces until I find a better place to put them. Next, I guess we'll go to these big trays over here. These are kind of unique right now. So this one became, and for one, they're actually really heavy too, by the way. I have to kind of get under there. So they right now contain a lot of the larger plate pieces, or those with interesting angles. Let me move this out of the way real quick. So like opening it up and looking in, you can see there's a lot of plates, a lot of the longer 1x plates, so that way I don't have to try to put those into smaller drawers because it just won't work. But then also a lot of the really strangely shaped or odd angles are just too large for most of those drawers. And sorry for the shadows, the lighting is not really set up to do this kind of shot, but I just wanted to show you around. So, well, to get to the next trade, I needed to kind of move this out of the way. This is something I started kind of piecing together to get ready for September. I'm trying to create some understanding to myself of the size and space that I kind of want to work with. I really want to use these to build something, but we'll see. So this one is kind of a unique setup too, because it's from a big bulk buy I bought of like 20-something little Nexonite sets with lots of interesting pieces that I wanted to use for the build, because I'm sticking to Nexonites and Benny Spaceship. So you can see that this is 100% individual parted out into each of these bins because there were just so many I was able to do so. So I was able to kind of pin those together, but I'm thinking I'm going to need to do something more with this bin as I go ahead, like parting out the Nexonite stuff. I may end up adding more to it and kind of consolidating them down to it. I had to turn these lights around. That was really bothering me with the shadows. Sorry. Let's try seeing if that looks any better. Well, no, it's still kind of creating a whole lot of shadow. Well, we're just going to deal with it. Sorry. Just kind of trying to show you through some of the organization I have. So the last one of these that I have anything really sorted into is one bin that is being used as the storage location for an entire Benny Spaceship. I just parted it by color because that's kind of how it came in the bags, into major sections in here, and I may or may not just add color to each of these, just keep piling the dark bluish gray or the light bluish gray that I really want to use into each of these bins to allow me to kind of pull from those more rather than pulling individual parts. But this was just a whole Benny Spaceship, and there's all the blue down there. Yeah. So getting into kind of the smaller area sorting stuff, these little containers here actually keep a whole lot of stuff in them too. These are all my Technic kind of connectors. So these are long pins kept in this pick-a-brick setup. These are small pins for Technic axles, basically. Not pins, but axles. Then this one is actually like axle connectors or axle wraps, basically, to bring together axle stuff or stop them. And then this one should just be Technic pin connectors. Yeah, that's what's in Technic pin type connectors. And then the big is just full of Technic pins of all kinds of different sizes and shapes. Yep, we'll go ahead and put these back down here where they go, so that way they don't get knocked over as we show off some of these drawers up here. This little container is where I put random pieces, like extra pieces from sets, until I can get them sorted. And here's the unfinished Macropolis that I never really did finish. I really wanted to, but didn't get there, and some VIP coins. Need to finish the rest of those this year, hopefully. So this will show basically the overall sorting. You have 1x1s of a bunch of different colors at the beginning, and then different types here. So you see some snot ones, some with Technic pinholes. These ones are some that are decorated. And then we go into plates to do the same thing. So these are 1x1 plates, and they go into transparent ones, and then ones with clips, and then ones with like different connectors. And then we have slopes together there, like cheese wedges. And then I have 1x1 studs, and like I said, I want to sort those down into that thing by color. They have transparent ones, and then those with posts, and those with open holes, and then basically decorative ones, getting into the point where it's like ladders and weird stuff. And then these are tiles that are round first, so round tiles, clear, and then paint, and then printed, and then you go into square tiles, and then square tiles clear, and then square tiles printed, and then other decorative things. So then we got all of the just different plates here, just lots of different plates, each is sorted by size as much as I can. They even bleed over to here where you can see more plates along that one row. Most of the stuff below that is like plant, animal. I gotta fix this light. So you have tubes and cones and robots and other pieces, lots of minifigure stuff in this area, and the lighting is still terrible, but you can kind of get the concept here. I sorted out most of the minifigure stuff, their accessories, their weapons, their other parts, and we move in, you can see lots of different kinds of things all sorted by type and size. This is the whole row of just 1x2 bricks, sorted by rainbow color: red, orange, yellow, green, two different things of green there. Blue, some kind of purples and violets and pinks and stuff into tans and browns, and then black, and then white and gray. So you go through all the 1x2s right there. And then basically this is then 2x2 plates, and you can see everything kind of sorted out there, different variations on 2x2s. Now we go down to 2x2 or 1x2 plates, and then sorted in black and white, then gray, and sorted out by color as well, because I just have to take so many to build stuff that they're all sorted out that way. Even all the jumpers sorted separately, all the tiles sorted separately, a bunch of different slope pieces, and then some kind of special ones, modified plates with spinners and things like that up there. These are one of my favorite bricks, the Brickhead type bricks. You see like kind of smaller ones with Technic, and then there's my big Technic axle arms and long Technic bricks. And then here we get into basically 2x2s, 2x3s, 2x4s, different brick sizes, and all sorted by color as best I could within the space that I have, basically. So you can see these are basically like extra tall bricks. They kind of don't fit in any category, and I tossed these in here because I need to figure out where to sort them to, because I don't have a place yet, and they definitely don't have enough to need to take up a big drawer like that. I need to sort those differently. But that's basically all of it. That's how everything here is kind of sorted out. Well, hopefully you enjoyed kind of the overall studio tour, and then checking out how much my Lego is or isn't organized. It definitely needs to get done a bit more. So I need to build out the rest of my Nexonite sets in order to be totally prepared for September. So which of these do you think that I should go ahead and build first? I actually realized here at the last second as I was digging through everything and showing off that there was actually another Nexonite set all the way in the back. So I went ahead and pulled that out and need to build it too. So let me know which one you would like to see me build first, and I need to start having y'all hang out with me on a regular basis to build all these out. Bye.